This is a book that has been that covers 85 plus years study, pretty much asking the question, what makes for a good life, right? And the answer is that it is relationships, right? If we have the right amount of relationship and the right quality of those relationships, that's what helps us to have a good life, both to have a lot, both in the longevity and in the width, right? The quality of the life and the longness of the life, the health, we in our being, to have that life. And so when looking at the book, though with that conclusion, we then begin to talk about different aspects of relationships. We're talking about challenges to relationship. We're talking about being socially fit, which is pretty much our propensity, to be able to create relationship and also to maintain existing relationship. It's not just about creating relationship, but also being able to maintain the relationship. When we're able to create relationship in the essential aspects, areas of our life, and able to also maintain those relationship, it helps us. It helps the quality of our life. It helps us to be able to get the very best out of life. We're able to harness life. It takes relationship, right quality relationship to be able to harness the goodness, the beauty, the richness that life has to offer. Right? We're not created to live this life alone. We're not created to do this life alone. We cannot do this life in our own strength. We need others to be able to get the fullness, the full benefit of life. Against like I like to say most times, the essence of our life is not found within us. The essence of our life is found outside of us, right? Everything that takes place on the inside of our constitution, the inside of our being is to prepare us, and enable us to be able to engage with things that are outside of our being, which means engaging with other people, other things other than ourselves. The preparedness that takes place on the inside of us determines our ability to fully harness the things that are outside of us. I like to relate this to Stephen Covey's book, talks about the 7 habits of highly effective people. And you see, Stephen Covey divides his book into 3 parts. He talks about the war within, winning the war within. Yeah. When we win the war within, then we can win the war without. And it closes it with the 7th habit, which is pretty much keeping that balance that we don't get exhausted out of life. So relationships are very important and critical in our lives, so and that's what we get to learn from this book. That's what we've been learning from this book. If you feel free, if you want to catch all we've been discussing, we're doing this since July of last year. So this is our 7th month discussing this book, discussing the topic. So on my YouTube channel, you can find all our discussions there. You can find some on Instagram Live also. Everything is compiled also on our Facebook group that is set up for this also. So if you look for book club, with Akin, with the Saint, you'll find that on Facebook also. But today we're going to go on to the last part of chapter 6 and try to close out chapter 6. And what we've been talking about in chapter 6 is pretty much facing the music of life, facing life as it is. A lot of people run away from life, they try to escape life. The only way to truly escape life is to die. For as long as you are alive, you cannot escape life, right? You're either going to engage life proactively or life will engage you. One way or the other, you are going to engage life. You're either going to proactively engage life or you're going to be reactive to the issues of life. One, you will win. The other one, you will lose, right? If you don't actively, proactively, intentionally engage life, you're most probably going to lose the battles and the war of life. To win the war of life, you have to be intentional. You have to be proactive, right? And you have to be proactive, intentional, and actively engage life. You have to decide the life that you want, the life that you need, The life that is meant for you will not come to you of its own accord. You have to step out to get that life. It is a fishing process. That life is available, but it's not going to come your way of its own accord, right? You have been given everything that you need to go fish that life, get that life, hunt that life. If you don't do the hunting, if you don't do the fishing, that life is not going to be yours. It is available, but you gotta go how to get it. It's not gonna find you in your comfort zone. You gotta learn how to step out of your comfort zone to get the life that is meant for you. God wants that life for you. God intends that life for you, but you gotta step out of your comfort zone to get it, right? And that's what we'll be looking at in chapter 6, how to face life, how to face the issues of life, because that most time is what defeats people. People stand up and they have all that, oh, I'm ready to go to life, but life eats you. How do you respond? Not react. How do you respond? Not react. How do you respond? Not react. Let's go. So yeah, we're talking about the book. Those are two authors, Robert Waldinger and Max Schutz, right? They are heads, at the Harvard School for study on adult development. They've been doing study on adult development, how to uh grow, develop accurately, rightly as an adult. So you're looking for what it takes uh to develop her right as an adult, right? A lot of people do about children, but we adults also develop, right? As we've been look at different stages of our life. We come as children. Then from children, we translate from childhood to adulthood. We call that adolescence, right? We go to the adolescent period. Now, when we then have translated into adulthood, the different stages in adulthood. Also, there is a young adult, there is a middle adult, there is an old adult. Then there's also the centurions, right? 100 and above. But the different phases of life, because we change, we transform, right? We're changing internally. There are different hormones that are causing different development in our being, our constitution, right? At the same and the way we change then determines our disposition to life as a whole. It changes the expectation of life of us. It changes our responsibility. It changes our tendency. Once I had someone who say sometimes that every man and woman are the same. They're not. Right. In a sense, we're all the same at a human level. When we talk about humanity, right, we're all the same, right? Irrespective of how old you are, we're all the same on the humanity level. But when you then go beyond the humanity, there's a difference between a child and an adolescent. There's a difference between an adolescent and a young adult. There's a difference between an adolescent and someone who is going through midlife. There's a difference between one who is in midlife and someone who is an old adult. There's a difference between an old adult and those in their centuries, all of that. Right. There's a difference. You'll be foolish to think there's not a difference. You're changing. For one thing, you're a child, you're very dependent. Adolescence, you begin to rebel, you want to get independence. Young adult, you have your independence, and you have all that strength, but yet you don't have wisdom, right? As you get the wisdom in the middle life, but you are then also feeling in strength, in energy, right? You get into the adult life, you're not as strong as you used to be, but you're supposed to have wisdom to compensate for the strength you do not have, right? Your ability to use this would make a difference in your life. Your ability to rightly harness your being a child will determine the quality of your life. Your ability to harness your adolescent period will determine the quality of your life. Your ability to harness your young adult period will determine the quality of your life. Your ability to harness your middle life will determine the quality of your life. Your ability to harness your whole life will determine the quality of your life. There are things you can do at each stage. There are things you are not supposed to do, which you do, then you'll be hurting yourself, right? There are things you have. There are things you don't have. right? There are boundary conditions, there are spectrum along which you can work, right? When you know this and rightly apply it, it makes a difference in your life, right? So let's go. We're going to catch that up. So this is part 3 on chapter 6 of the book, facing the music, facing life, facing the music of life, facing life as it is, leaning into life, leaning into life, leaning into life, not staying away from life, leaning into life, leaning into life, not staying away from life, facing life intentionally, proactively, right? And we looked at these two quotes earlier on in trying to do this. It talks about there's a crack in everything, and that's how the light gets in. We're human beings, right? Jesus Christ was making a statement that it's only the sick that need a doctor. If you're not sick, then you don't need a doctor. A lot of people are sick, they don't know that they are sick, and they're claiming to be healed, and they cannot get help. You have a lot of depressed people. If only they're going to shout out, I need help, I need help. Someone might come to your rescue. But when you're too proud, when you're too full of yourself and say, I'm okay, nobody's going to help you. If you need help, cry out for help, ask for help. Jesus Christ says, he that asks will be given. He that seeks will find. He that knocks, the door will be open unto. But if you don't ask, you ain't going to receive. If you don't seek, you ain't going to find. If you don't knock, the door will not be open to you, and you're just going to die where you are. We need help. We can do with help. We're here to be helped. Nobody comes here already made. God set our life in such a way that we all need help, right? As a child, you are dependent, you need help. Hopefully, as your hormones begin to flow and you go through your adolescent period, you begin to transform from a child to an adult. You need help. You need help. People have gone there before you. You are confused at that point in time. You can do with some help, right? People who have passed there before you. That's why the Bible says, honor your father and your mother so that you will live long. You will live long. Honor them, honor their journey, honor their experience, right? There's nothing new under the earth. There's nothing you're going through that they have not gone through. When you honor them, you will respect their rags. You respect their experience because it will make a difference in your life. It will make your whole life better, right? But all right. So the second quote here we looked at, it says there are two pillars of happiness, right? One is love. Love gives us happiness, right? Easy. You get a love, gives you happiness. But sometimes, you know, uh you're hurt, you don't get love immediately. Your ability to go through that difficult period when what you want is not easily coming your way will make a difference in your happiness. Sometimes we get what we want. Someone loves us, your husband loves you, your father loves you, your brother loves you, but it's not always like that. When you don't get what you want, when the sun does not shine upon you, your ability to wait, your ability to endure till that time comes will make a difference in your life. So there are two pillars of happiness. One that we get easily, right? Someone does something for us, we get the happiness. There's also the one we have to work out ourselves, right? Sometimes the sun does not shine. Sometimes the day does not break. Would you wait? Would you wait or give up? Your ability to endure will determine the happiness in your life. Your ability to handle the darkness, the night, will make a difference in your life. There are different things you can do. You can either be defeated or refuse to be defeated. You can either bury your head in the sand or you stand up and look up. Right? I love Les Brown. Les Brown says when you fall down, fall down with your face up, right? So you can look up to get up, not look down to stay down. You look up to get up, not look down to stay down. You look up to get up, not to look down to stay down, right? Japanese proverb will say fall 7 times, rise 8 times, right? Nobody's gonna get you up. You gotta learn to stand up yourself. Falling is not a problem. Everybody falls. It's staying down is for losers. Winners get up. Winners find their way back up. right? We all fall, but we don't all get up. Winners get up. Losers are wishing that someone will come and pick them up. And I've been there before. We've all been there before. You know, I remember times in depression, I was just waiting on God to come pick me up. Oh, God, come pick me up. God, pity me. Pity your son, God, come pick me up. He didn't. I waited for 2 years that God will come and pick me up. God loves me enough to come pick me from the mud. He did not. I had to get tired of waiting. I, I got myself up because God didn't come pick me up. There are things God expects you to do for yourself. There are things God expects you to do for yourself. There are things life expects of you to do for yourself. And you will probably wait the rest of your life, hoping that life will do it for you. If you don't do it for yourself, you will die there. You know, there was that man that Jesus Christ went met at the pool. Been there for 38 years, 38 years, 38 years, almost 40 years, 4 decades. He was expecting someone. He told Jesus, no, man. He was expecting someone to come pick him up. Is that not the state of a lot of us? You're not married. Someone will find me. Someone will find me. You're not rich. Someone will give me money. Someone will give me money. That's useless, man. That's not the way God created us. God didn't create us to be useless. God didn't create us to be waiting for someone. God created us to take the bull by the horn. Take the bull by the horn. Take the bull by the horn. Step out. How can I make it? How can I get married? How can I make a difference in my life? How can I go to the next level? What are the things I can do? Not the things I cannot do. What are the things I can do? How can I start doing them? You begin to do them. Life is not going to hold you responsible for the things you cannot do. Life will hold you responsible for the things you can do. And until you do the things you can do, the things you cannot do will not be available to you. When you do the things you can do, the things you cannot do will become things you can do, or they'll open up of their own accord. Life's demand is that you do the things you can do. The things you cannot do will take care of themselves, right? There's no waiting on anybody. There's no destiny helper anywhere coming to help you. You got to help yourself. When you help yourself, serendipity will find you. That is luck, right? A planned luck. The serendipity is a word, unexpected luck. It happens to those who are intentional, who are proactive, those who step out and do all that they can do. Life has a way of supporting you. We call it providence has a way of surprising you with serendipity. You know, life will find you if only you step out and begin to do the things you can do. 2024, don't sit down waiting for somebody. Don't sit down and be deceived. But there's the helper. There's the helper. Stop it. Don't be like that man by the pool waiting for 38 years. You can change your life today, 22nd of January 2024. Begin to find out what are the things I can do, what are the differences I can make in my life. Begin to do them. When you do them, providence will find you. Providence will blow in your direction. Doors will begin to open to you. Life will begin to answer to you. It will not find you in your comfort zone. It will not find you warming your buttocks, to find you when you're on the way doing all that you can do. And that the story of Abraham's servant comes to mind for me. He says, while I was on the way, the Lord helped me. While I was on the way, serendipity helped me. Serendipity found me. Luck found me. The promise found me. Providence helped me. I found the right wind. You won't find it in your comfort zone. You'll find it when you step out and begin to do the things you can do. That's when life finds you. That's when your life begin to change for the better. That's when you begin to uh, find life. You begin to be the architect, the leader of your life. You begin to make the difference, begin to break in. You begin to take your place or at the table. Right, right. Don't die in silence. Don't die wishing. Step out and begin to make a difference in your life. Right?